All right, video 12, 2 of 12. We're going. And in honor of this, I got myself a hard kombucha. Because one of the next videos, while I was in Austin, I did 2 stops. I went to a bar, an all-woman sports bar. There's not very many in the US. And then I also I was driving back, and I saw a Church of Scientology, and I was just like, holy cow, it's huge. And I've never been inside one, so I stopped and went in there. So that's gonna be my next video. But I got Peach Paradise. I'm drinking Peach Paradise hard kombucha in honor of Princess Peach still being alive, even though I didn't feed her. Like, Yeti's lucky she got food and access to outside and water. All Princess Peach got, my beta fish, was water. Which, I mean, she's alive. Okay, I wanted to talk about Orfield Labs. I'm gonna keep it at 12 minutes. So I'm doing 12 for 12. I'm just going off of this. So, Orfield Labs, one of the reasons I also want to email too, but again, I talked about it in my last video. I guess I'm making 2 Orfield Labs videos. No, I'll just stick to Orfield Labs. They have 2 chambers there, and the building's extraordinary too. And then just how both of them articulate themselves is very remarkable. However, the female was doing more nuanced depth stuff, so I was intrigued by it. But I really want to talk to the owner, actually, because he majored in philosophy. I love philosophy. And I really want to hear the story or the thought process of like what triggered his thought to market furniture from the aspect of sound. Like, how do people normally correlate, right, sound to furniture? Especially office furniture. It's so brilliant. And I keep thinking about how the heck did he make that jump? Because like, what would I have had to do? Yet I'm trying to get this thing off your eye. Like, throw it in the plant. What would I have to do? Like, what thought would I have had? What situation would have occurred where I would have connected sound and what's it called? Office chairs, swivel chairs, this chair, right? And I thought about it actually, because I noticed when I was in Minneapolis, I kept seeing recurrent things like subconscious, right? Because I'm talking about the subconscious. This whole series is based from the subconscious. Now that everyone's aware of it, hopefully, that I've delineated or explained it that way, which is why I'm how I am. Okay, sorry, Orfield Labs. I was trying to figure out how he made the jump from office furniture, marketing office furniture, to incorporating sound, right? Trying to market office furniture from the angle of sound, the perspective of sound. And I thought about it, and in Minneapolis, I noticed this. There's a lot of symbolism all over the place with music and like harmonious things. Even some of like the words on the signs. I try to take pictures of billboards and stuff wherever I go, and things that stand out, because there's all sorts of, it demonstrates the underlying, what's it called? The cognition, the underlying patterns, or what is going on there within that population. And the most common thing I kept perceiving was music. And so I wonder, right, like, what if he was like me when I was checking out that local art and I was walking and I heard the church bells going off, and hearing them go off and walking around and seeing the art all of a sudden changed how I perceived it. And I was like, oh, that, like, you know, or turning or sitting, you know, like sitting on a bench and getting up and hearing how it changed, and you're like, oh, that's weird, or whatever, right? Was he walking through a tunnel or like rolling a chair through a tunnel and he heard, like, I want to know what experience gave him that idea. And for me, actually, it ties into the PTSD study, because with the pink noise machine, right, just like the church bells, they cut out the loud noise, what they called it, loud noise. But to me, loud noise is equivalent to a state of superposition, because what if not, superposition is a state of irrationality, hypothetically, technically, whatever, that all possibilities and probabilities exist simultaneously. So if you're in a state of superposition, that's basically the noise of static. Okay, it's like white noise. However, the bandwidth that they operate at, the frequency or whatever they do with their pink noise, and I like that they called it pink noise too, because that invokes, I wouldn't say it invokes a feeling of warmth actually, but femininity, a place of like soul. It's almost like you're going back to the womb. That's what that, oh, that's a cool thought. Sorry, I'm going on a whimsy tangent, but I'm going to title this one Orfield Lab. So if they ever come across it, maybe they can, utilize it for something. But the chamber works for PTSD studies, or how perhaps it may be novel or innovative and actually freaking cure people and no longer need to utilize a diagnosis of PTSD, is because they're basically simulating going back to the womb. You're completely void, and even the chamber, you're on like it's suspended. It's a suspended chamber on springs. And actually, okay, when I went to the chamber, honestly, the quietness, it wasn't that quiet. I was just like, this isn't quiet. For me, it wasn't quiet. And I was just like, huh. But it was cool though. Like I really lost track of time in there. Oh, that was fun. I was trying to, when I went in there, because I went in for like 25 minutes. And he was like, oh, sit on the thing or whatever. And when they turn off the lights, oh, that was the best part. To be able to open your eyes like this and close your eyes and simultaneously do either state, and no perception, complete void and blackness. Oh, I loved it. I was like, this is dope. And so I was trying to get, but the quietness, it wasn't, how do I say this? I still perceive noise external to myself because my internal state is already in stillness and peace. It's already flowing in a, what's it called? A rational movement pattern, the same pattern within me. Like that's why I struggle to have emotional responses or feel that physiological response in me, because I'm operating from a place of the subconscious where it originates. That's where I naturally, like my cognition naturally is at. And so it's at a place of stillness. When everyone describes stillness and peace, they're talking about the perception, like how their mind cognitively feels, how their body physiologically feels inside, how the clarity of thought they're capable of. Okay, I'm in a state already that I would describe and define as a rational movement pattern that correlates to words defined as stillness and peace. So being in that room for me, my perceptions, what I could physically, tangibly perceive with my five senses, was noisy, was more noisy so I could hear everything. Or it wasn't as quiet as I anticipated. So I'm not quite sure what I was going for, right? I love the darkness and void though. Oh, that was so great. And I wanted to disorient myself more because I was too oriented. My mind had too much orientation to things. And I was like, well, I want to be disoriented. I want to be completely as incapacitated from physical, tangible, like physical reality, as well as cognitive reality. Like, oh, ultimate thrill. So it's on a springboard, right? And so I stood up because I didn't want to sit anymore because I wanted less contact with surface. So I tried to get more disoriented. And I stood still. I changed my posture to like try to invoke a state of disorientation. And I couldn't do it, y'all. I even started like walking around. But then I almost fell through the springs. So I was like, okay, just stay still. Stay still. Don't move around. So anyways, for PTSD, right? Because these people, like I said previously, I have 3 minutes. PTSD is basically when people hold on to trauma, and that trauma invokes an emotional response that your subconscious flags, so your conscious mind doesn't forget it, because it's a huge breadcrumb, it's a huge learning opportunity where information is missing, because that PTSD, that traumatic response, that irrational movement pattern that occurs, that is because your body's your subconscious trying to physiologically signal to you in a way that you can perceive via invoking some emotion in your body, what you perceive as emotion, to help you remember that memory, because that memory is, again, a huge puzzle piece. The more traumatic the memory, the bigger the puzzle piece, the bigger the learning opportunity, because what is the best way that you will not forget something until it is time for you to be able to, you're at a depth of cognition where you can understand it. Okay, exactly. So when things are really traumatic like that, it's because it's a huge puzzle piece again, and whenever you get invoked to it, whenever you get triggered by it, think to yourself, what is going on in that moment? Is there a conversation? Where are you at? Because it could be hinting to you, your subconscious is like, flag, you're in a safe zone, you have people around you that can support you if you think about this and you get triggered. Think about it. This is an opportunity to think about it and talk about it and understand it to the level of the subconscious. So that's a huge signal flare trying to get you, because you're around people, you're around something, whatever you're doing, frequencies, energies, patterns, right? Movement patterns that is capable of having you unlock what that meant, the missing piece of information. How cool is that? Okay, so the PTSD thing and the chamber, maybe I'll send her this video. No, if they have a social media team, they'll be able to do this, because I feel like if she was doing a study on this, this would be helpful information for her to, know. I say no, not lightly. I don't utilize the word no. Because again, y'all, this is why I describe Western medicine as barbaric. Because this concept, what I'm saying now, is not taught. It's not a treatment modality. And this person, this company, has the opportunity, has the capacity to do innovative, groundbreaking things where PTSD no longer exists. Anyways, she canceled on